link again. YouTube. Because we need to get our hours up on Twitch, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. We broke the internet.
Oh no.
Nicole.
Our weekly tech.
You know, it's all the propaganda. That's what it is.
That's it.
I think we might have to unlink.
I mean, we might have to.
Relink.
Yeah, we might have to just say we are not playing a game.
Oh.
There's an additional.
What's our settings?
Yeah,
What are we doing? World of Warships.
What are we going to do?
We could be a Sea of Thieves.
We
Or
could
Paladins.
Where's the just chatting?
I know. Just chatting in a hot tub. Where's our favourite? It really doesn't have it.
It doesn't have it.
Maybe
okay.
we have to choose World of Warships.
World of Warships.
Will we get kicked off if we say
VR chat is the closest. We'll say that.
Yeah. Maybe because there's no title. Maybe. Okay, what's our title?
Lucy.
Oh, it's not letting you type anything.
Did it not?
All right, just do title. Doesn't matter. Oh, we're back. Okay.
Lucy and Meow. Let's just see if we can.
Let's try that. All right.
If Twitch is working. If not.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Twitch.
Okay.
Bitch.
There we go. Okay. I think we're back. Hi, I couldn't watch on Twitch. Oh damn.
All right. Well, I mean, as you guys know, part of our weekly stream is tech setup, so we're not disappointing you with this. This is to be expected, and is in fact some people's favorite part of the show is us fixing tech specs. All right. How about we unlink and then relink to Twitch?
Yeah, I'm just gonna see if I can do this while we're chatting.
And then we have some really cool videos to show you guys.
Okay.
And Tom, nice to see you back again. Oh, we're doing it on the fly.
I think we're just gonna try and do this.
Failure.
So, what have we
Well, let me tell you guys about my week. Oh, sexy science. That's us. Yeah. That's definition us.
It is. Fingers crossed.
On the daily.
We're not on. Are we on Twitch? Okay, it looks like we are on Twitch.
Although Tom says he couldn't watch on Twitch.
Oh wow.
Oh, you've made a mini us. That's crazy.
How crazy is that?
Whoa.
Recursive.
Whoa.
Okay. Can anyone see us on Twitch? That was really cool. Whatever just happened then was pretty amazing.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
It says sending data.
I think we're gonna have to unlink it and relink it.
I don't even. Chat wasn't working. We're gonna have to switch off the stream and then restart it, but we may not be able to.
Yeah. And if that doesn't work, we'll just stream on Facebook today.
Yeah, I'll see. Let me see if I can get it working. Hold on 1 second.
Isn't that cool?
It's really cool. I'm like we're like recursoring in.
It's in.
Okay. Are we on Twitch?
Oh, it says sending data. What did you change?
Sending data is what it should be doing. So it says sending data.
This is insight into
the process.
This is a very specific VIP insight into our process.
Okay.
I think we have to unlink it.
It's not us. It's Twitch. Twitch is down.
Oh, Nathan,
okay.
really?
Okay. Beautiful. Well, we're gonna stay on here.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone, for coming along. Hallelujah. Thank you very much.
We crashed Twitch. That's okay.
So,
they've got a weird cache thing.
Yeah. It might be us here. We're gonna organise it for next time if we can. There's something wrong. Hello, Liz.
Hello,
thanks
Mother.
for tuning in. So it's been an exciting week in tech this week.
Yeah.
We've seen a big shout out and a thank you to Stephen for all the amazing information that he sent through this week, especially and every week, especially with respect to COVID. So there's been some big changes in COVID. We've seen the emergence of the Delta strain. The World Health Organization has actually said there is a new strain of the coronavirus. So before this, we said there were isolates. Mm-hmm. So this is from South Africa or China. They've said there's actually a new strain now that is more contagious, even more contagious.
And it's more contagious because it's spread through the air. Is that correct?
So there's been a lot of debate since February last year about whether COVID is truly airborne. Some people argue that it's like, what is airborne? Travels in spit droplets, what size, all these types of things.
If I were to breathe out like that, isn't necessarily air, that's still moisture, right, from my mouth.
But it would be, you would have a chance of transmitting it if it's airborne. The question is, how big are the spit droplets? And like, because, you know, if you kiss someone, it's not airborne, but it's transmitted via saliva. But there might need to be a certain volume of it that's transmitted, right? So when they're talking about airborne, there's a big debate, because when it goes airborne, there's certain protocols that come into effect with countries and things. Right. So they're very cautious to say it's airborne.
Think about that game. What's the game called?
Pandemic.
Airborne is when we shut down the countries, don't we?
Yes, it is. That's what happens.
Has everyone here played Pandemic? If not, you should absolutely play it.
The board game or the computer game?
The computer game.
The board game is fantastic too.
Is it?
We should play it live. It's actually really fun.
We should play it live. Yeah.
Okay, so unfortunately Twitch is down. Now there's also... where is the sexy calendar of scantily clad academics? Oh, it's winter. It's winter. We're doing sexy ski gear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What's this calendar for and about?
I don't know, but I think we should make one.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'll take the photos. The computer game is great for high school students. Matt, yeah, agreed. And also, I just recently replayed it to understand. It's a good way to understand how the world as a whole is you know, controlling the virus and everything. Stupid sexy Flanders, says Emily.
Now, speaking of worldwide viruses, there's an additional push at the moment to look into the origins of COVID.
That's right. We did discuss that last time, didn't we?
We did. We touched a little bit on about the role of the international community in the research, but also if something goes wrong, about not blaming a country. And I think this is really important. You know, there's a lot of anti-Asian hate at the moment. Have you seen this?
There is. There has been ever since coronavirus started.
That's right. And it's not a Chinese problem. It's actually a worldwide problem. It's a global problem. Yeah. We all contributed to the research. And there's actually this week in The Australian, which is generally considered one of the more reputable papers, that there's some additional calls for like kind of anger at China.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Which is a worry. But I saw in the news that some scientists actually just brought back an extinct virus, I believe, which was a coffee blight.
Because we need another one.
Yeah. So there's these blights that have progressively wiped out a whole heap.
What's a blight?
Blight is basically a disease for plants.
Okay.
So coronavirus is hitting us. A blight is generally a fungus.
Okay.
But plants are living just like us, and they can make antibodies, and they can make medicines just like we can make antibodies and we can make medicines, but they can also get sick. We generally don't think about plants getting sick like we get sick. Like a plant can't get the flu.
Right, but it can get, is it bacterial or viruses?
Fungus is the worst.
Yeah, fungus.
Fungi love plants. Oh. And generally it's like a powder on the leaves, or it's a rot inside the plant, and it's generally a fungus attacking the plant from the inside.
Right.
Yeah.
Are humans susceptible to fungi?
Funny you should ask, because right now in India, they are.
What?
Is ergot a blight? Ergot would be considered a blight. The best kind of blight. Ergot is the fungus that attacks wheat that makes the precursor to LSD.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Okay, so...
It's fantastic. So, India, what's happening?
There's a condition, and please, if anyone knows, it's called Mew-Core something, because it's caused by a type of fungus which comes from... There's broadly 4 kingdoms in the fungus, right?
4 kingdoms.
4 kingdoms. It's not kingdoms. It's some other division.
Careful.
Choose carefully. When the Mew-Core nation attacked. No. Okay. So So what's your favorite mushroom? Do you like mushrooms?
Oh, not
I'll tell you where it belongs.
Not really. Okay. Portobello.
Portobello comes from Basidia mycota or Basidia mycetes. So it's called so you got Basidio mycetes, you got Ascomycetes, you got Zygomycetes, and then you got something called Fungi imperfecti. These have been superseded recently, but these ones are what I learned, so that's what we're using.
Cool.
Now, with Basidio mycetes, that's like your portobello mushrooms. Most mushrooms you encounter is your oyster mushrooms, but there are some, like, have you ever had a morel mushroom?
I don't remember.
Okay, a morel mushroom is really cool. It looks like...
What are the really expensive mushrooms called again?
Morels are crazily expensive. So I'll just bring these up. Can we see that? Morels, how cool are they?
They look funky, like a brain.
That's it. If I was one of those people that believed that like there was some similarity, I'd eat these to get smart. They grow after bushfires. So these are these are from Ascomycetes. Wow. Now the reason, it's got really large surface area. That's why it looks like that. Because it wants to increase the amount. What we're looking at is where the spores are. So if I have a look at Ascomycota versus Basidiomycota, we're about to have a look. Are you ready?
Ooh.
Can we see the spores?
The spore. Maybe type in spore.
Spores.
How to do a Google search with Meow and Luscious.
There we go. Are we going to see it under a microscope?
Oh, they've got great names, these mushrooms.
Broadly, it's how... Can we see that? No. Broadly, it's about how the spores attach. It's not actually that interesting. Okay. I thought it was going to be much, much, much easier. Suck funky. Yeah, so basically, ascospores attach a certain way, basidiospores attach a certain way, but...
Are they defined by their spore action?
They are the formation of the spores is sexual reproduction. So what division of cells leads to this? Now, there's this really funky one we're going to bring up. Let's have a look, view image. Which, hopefully we can get a nice big image of it. Okay.
Nice. Today we're doing mushrooms.
Little bit. Oh, Pranav, bro.
Pranav, you're back.
You made it. Something wrong with Twitch. So there's a really bizarre one we're seeing here called Zygomycetes. Zygomycetes, though, is of huge importance in India because this is like a third type of mushroom. It's generally a soil fungus.
Yeah.
And can we... I'm just going to mute.
Pranav, welcome to our lesson on mushrooms today.
And it is causing huge problems in...
I like it.
It's causing huge problems in India because...
Well done for finding us on YouTube as well, Pranav.
It's causing huge problems in India because
we're just trying to fix the camera.
When people are weak, they become susceptible. They become susceptible to fungal attack.
Yes, Pranav, do you know about this?
So it's called mucormycosis. So myco is fungus.
I think we should remove this from the background. I feel like people will not enjoy. Better.
Who knows? Bread mold could be so beautiful.
Let's get beautiful.
There we go.
There we go.
Okay, beautiful. Are we gonna?
I know. We need to figure out how to fix this when this happens.
Maybe we move our faces forward.
Yeah, and then we go. That didn't quite work.
Close.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty good.
It's okay.
I'll come forward a little bit.
Just potentially.
Okay, yeah. So basically, mucormycosis is a fungus that can attack people, and it attacks people with diabetes more because they have higher levels of sugar in the blood, and the mushroom feeds off the sugar in their blood, which is crazy. Is there a mushroom that can help cure your depression?
Sorry, I'm just laughing because you look so funny.
Behind us, this mushroom is actually called... Do you want to...
Yeah. Is there a mushroom that will help cure my depression without forcing me into a psychedelic adventure where because my sandwich was hard to chew?
The only mushrooms used for depression at the moment are psychedelic ones, but there are a number of psychoactive mushrooms that haven't been tested for depression, and there's a huge amount of research going into seeing if we can make mushrooms less psychedelic but still give the benefits. So that's being done by MAPS. So this mushroom behind us, by the way, is called Dictyostelium discoideum. Discoideum. Is that little bit on top? Is a spore.
Wow.
Shoots off.
Okay, is it really a danger in India?
Yeah.
Really?
And what's scary about it is we're teaching the mushroom how to eat humans by giving it weak ones that it can evolve to eat better.
Oh my god!
Which is really scares me because if fungi end up eating humans, we are so stuffed. We can't use antibiotics to kill mushrooms.
No one expected that the human race would be wiped out by fungi. Like,
I
you
picked
ask
it.
anyone and they wouldn't see it coming. You really?
Yeah, you know why?
This?
Right now, in America, there is a thing called white rot fungus. And when it goes into a cave, it attacks mammals,
Wow.
bats. It kills 90 to 100% mortality rate.
Wow.
And bats are placental mammals. They're like humans. That thing could get us. I'm scared of mushrooms.
Wow, that's why you know so much about them. Know your enemy.
Boom,
Know the
mycophobia.
mushroom.
Boom.
All right, we're gonna fix this camera.
We're gonna fix it.
We're gonna fix it.
Tilt it down a little bit. Just-
No, can we do that? You're so blurry.
I know.
Oh, we're back.
Oh, we're back.
What did we do?
I just tilt it forward. Sometimes it helps. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Um,
Anyway, so we've got asteroids hitting the Earth. We've got alien invasion.
did you see this? That came out today?
I saw you sent me something. Yeah.
Asteroids hitting the Earth. So NASA. Let's have a look
Now,
quickly.
guys, if you were to predict a way that the human race might be wiped out, would it be by asteroid? Would it be by fungi? Would it be by virus?
Nanotechnology. Grey goo hypothesis.
Welcome, drunk scientist. Dean says, I heard on the grapevine that a guy who manufactured COVID, a molecular genetics major, used to work at a call center and really wanted to leave something behind for humankind.
I used to work at a call center. I want to leave something.
I see.
I did want to leave something behind, but I don't want to leave COVID. It's a bit average.
Yeah. And I really like this one because I did see that they'd found something that could eat plastic. I thought it was a type of bacteria.
What is it? How do we pronounce it?
Says, what about
Pestalottiopsis microspore.
What's it gonna? Is that the one that eats plastic? And what's it gonna eat after all the plastic? Us! Because we're gonna have so many microplastics in our body.
It's just gonna have. It's gonna have an entree. It's gonna have an entree.
A little entree of Lucy.
And then it's gonna. And then it's just gonna.
Well, you're filled with microplastic.
And macroplastic.
What's Meow?
The opal card. It's gonna be the vector.
So Meow has a little microchip in his. There's 3 microchips in his hand, and they are a type of plastic.
They are.
And so they're gonna eat him first. Yeah.
I'm going to be the vector. I'm going to be patient 0 of the fungal apocalypse. Now, NASA, speaking of doomsday, NASA did a study.
There are antifungals, though. We can just have some antifungals.
No, you're right. There's very few. Do you know why?
Why?
Okay, what is the difference between... I'm going to actually see if this works while we're here.
Okay.
I've got a...
Maybe you can, yeah. He's got his iPad.
I've got my iPad.
No one ever knows with Meow. Anything could happen.
Anything could happen. Okay, so let's have a think. Why do antibiotics work so well?
I really don't know.
Do we know what most antibiotics do?
They go and wipe out the good and bad bacteria, right?
That's right, yeah. But only bacteria. They don't kill human cells.
Not viruses, not human cells. Okay, so just bacteria.
So what do? They look for differences between human cells and bacterial cells.
Ah.
So what do
antibiotics, they're little guys.
Does this work? Can we see? Okay. So we have. Let's see if I can do this. If I can hold it.
I hold it, and then you draw.
That sounds really good. I'm just going to keep the light away. Okay. So generally we have a bacterial cell here. Is that show?
Can you draw it in white?
I can.
A.
Okay. So let's have a look at a bacterial cell. What is a bacterial cell made of? We have the cell wall. We have some DNA. I'm going to actually change this to be the X's. Ribosomes. And that's basically it. That's a bacterial cell.
Ah.
Now, almost all antibiotics work to inhibit the cell wall formation.
Bacterial cells have DNA?
Yeah.
Oh,
how's this?
That should be basic. I don't know.
No, okay, so everything from an orange to a mushroom to a bacteria to a fungus, every single thing.
Every living thing.
DNA.
Does a microphone have DNA?
It does not. Neither does fire, and neither does crystals. Why? Now, why do they all have DNA? Because all life on Earth. This is mind blowing. I didn't really get this.
Hey, Frankie.
All life on Earth.
Yeah.
Started with one cell.
All life on Earth started with one cell with DNA inside it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it divided and became everything.
Wow, that's cool.
Right? So literally,
we are truly one.
we actually are. If you look at us in 4 dimensions, we all started as one cell. Every living thing on the planet, there's never been another cell form except for that one.
Well, in this universe.
Yeah.
Guys, so actually, Meow and Luscious, these guys, us, we're really a part of you. We are from the same cell. Isn't that crazy that we grew out of the same cell?
Yeah, all our liquid was touching at one point in time. So when we're talking about bacteria and humans and bacteria, fungi, plants, and animals all diverged, right? Now, the closer that they were before they diverged, the more common they are. So bacteria went off a long, long time ago. Let's have a look at what this looks like. So we've all seen like a tree of life before, yeah? So we start with the last universal common ancestor. Then we come up, and then bacteria branch off. So they stay as single cells. Then we come up a little bit, and then plants diverged. Then come up a little bit, fungi, and then humans.
Ooh, humans.
Or animals. Let's say animals.
Yeah.
Right? Now, the further you are away from each other, the more different you are. Right? Oh.
There we go. That's great.
Basically, when we want to make things like antibiotics, we're going to try and exploit those differences. The problem is, fungi and humans are basically the same.
Really?
Yeah. So fungi don't have cell walls. They use sugars the same way that we do. So plants, they store their sugars as starch.
But viruses also sometimes don't have cell walls.
Viruses don't really exist on the same tree of life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then where are they from? Where did they come from?
They're a special case.
Okay.
They evolve alongside everything on the tree of life.
Oh my god, viruses were always going to take it. They've always been our enemy, our greatest enemy.
They have. As long as there's been DNA, there's been viruses.
Wow.
Parasites. Now, quickly, we've got a comment from Dean. So I want to hear about mRNA vaccines versus regular vaccines. Okay.
So regular vaccines give your body the opportunity to respond and create an immune defense with a version that is controlled so it doesn't duplicate, whereas RNA effectively provides your body with a set of instructions on how to defend itself against what's the breakdown. I feel like you broke it down quite well, Dean.
Yeah, so basically, instead of a normal, it's hard to say all vaccines because there's a whole heap of vaccines, right? Generally, it's some form of weakening the virus and then putting it in, or boiling it and putting it in. What we've done is with the mRNA vaccines, we give the instructions to just make one component of it, and then our bodies make that component instead of injecting it in.
Okay, on the picture of was it antibodies that you showed us last week? Which part is the instruction being received in the arms or in the bottom coded?
So the arms latch on.
Could we actually, let's pull up a picture of that
antibody
virus that you did, and just
ribosome go brr. It's true.
Ribosome go brr.
What do we say? Antibody.
I
don't think they should be antibodies. They should be pro bodies because they're actually very. Pro-body. Yeah, they are very pro.
This is great. So mRNA is going to come in.
Can we see all that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we
can.
can.
One side is fine.
That's fine. It's the same on both sides.
So guys, this is.
So the mRNA codes for the antigen. Oh.
What's going on there?
I don't know. Oh, you know why? Because the top of the video camera.
Oh.
I'm going above here. Okay, so the antigen is the light green thing. That's what your body is making. Now, your body has something like 10 to the 12 antibodies that it can choose from, and it just chucks them all at that green thing until it finds one that matches. The better it matches, the more of them it makes. It puts them into these memory cells, and then it keeps a high level of them.
It needs to be the right shape.
That's right.
So it's like puzzle pieces.
It's exactly like puzzle pieces.
Hell?
But your body has every single possible type of puzzle piece that can exist, basically.
It just literally comes down to shapes. That's
comes down to shapes. And it comes down to the attraction, right? It comes down to the attraction. So it's not just shape, but charge. Positives and negatives will interact. And what is this protein even made from, right? It's just made from different amino acids.
Wow.
So the instructions for each antibody is also coded in mRNA. Because mRNA is just the instructions to make a protein. It could be that green thing, which is part of a virus. It could be a collection of proteins, might be a whole virus, or it could be an antibody to defend us against that same antivirus. It's just a battle of the proteins.
So hold on, mRNA could be any of those things?
Could be any protein. Could be hair. It could be a virus or part of a virus. It could be an antibody.
Yes.
It could be a bit of a blood cell. Any protein. So mRNA just codes for proteins.
Okay, and so is mRNA like an antibody though? When it's in the body?
It's the instructions for an antibody.
Okay, what does it look like? Do we know what it shapes? And how does it meet this antibody?
The mRNA. So the mRNA will go through a ribosome
Yep.
and become an antibody. So mRNA is the instructions. So we call this. Are you ready? I want you to read this out.
It's complex stuff, isn't it, guys?
This is molecular biology. This is my
Central dogma.
the central dogma of molecular biology. Okay, really simply. This picture's really good. Can we see that? Perfect. Okay, so you have DNA, right?
Yeah.
You have DNA, which is all the instructions. But what do the instructions actually code for? Proteins. They code for proteins. Ooh. The green one, right? How do they get turned from DNA into proteins? They get turned into messenger RNA. So think about DNA as being like the instructions to build a car, right? But it's an entire book.
Yeah.
Actually, it's chapters of a book.
Okay.
And each chapter is a chromosome.
Cool.
Now, you can't just put the car together in one go. You have to build the engine, you have to build the brake system, and the brake system has little components too. Each one of those components is called a gene. Now, to actually say, okay, I need to build the wheels, we go, okay, where's the wheel gene? And we find it, and then we go, okay, first of all, I harvest the rubber, then I put it in a mold, and then I go and put the tread on, and then I mount it on the car. That is called the RNA. That's the instruction to do one job.
Okay.
Now, there might be different wheels for different jobs. A four-wheel drive version of the car might have one type of wheel, and just the city version might have one type of a wheel. So we can actually edit some bits of the RNA, which is very important. We might talk about that at another time. But then we go and we give it to the factory, and the factory produces the wheel. The factory is called a ribosome, and the wheel is called a protein. That is a very simple overview of how molecular biology works.
Cool.
So that when we're talking about the antibody is like the wheel.
Yes.
Yep. Now,
the wheel. I feel like, and it was really well explained. I feel like I'm going to need you to explain it another 30 to 50 times in the next few months.
I did a whole degree that basically boils down to what I just told you.
Yeah,
that's it. That's like,
great.
let's take on the modification. Okay. 1 second. I'm just going
If we missed your comment, feel free to paste it again once we've answered some more, because once it leaves the screen, we cannot see it anymore.
James has added some really good additional information. James Ferguson is actually working at the Garvan Institute on COVID sequencing at the moment, using a very exciting technology called nanopore. I'm going to bring that up in the background. Now, Steve Morello just talked about quantum computing with...
Nanopore.
So we're going to bring up... I'm going to bring this up now.
Is a nanoscale whole. The Oxford...
We're actually going to watch how this works because it's really cool.
Okay. Guys, let's check this out. What's going on?
Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Is it playing? How it works. I have to accept the cookies.
Can you just press X?
Biscuits. The biscuits. We're in Australia. The biscuits.
Oh, how funny.
Okay, that's not going to work today. So we are going to go, and we are going to go YouTube. Okay.
Introduction to nanopore sequencing. What? Where are we going with this? What's happening?
So this is basically so you know when they say, oh, it's the Indian strain of the COVID.
Right.
How do they work it out? One of the ways they're doing it is they're using these machines. So it's a USB sized DNA sequencer, about $1,000 a pop. They've been used in space. They're really cool. They use microfluidics. Super interesting. These. Okay, I'm just going to pause this quickly.
Yeah. Dean, we're always educational. Tune in every week, and Meow will teach us 100 things.
Now, what's really 1 second, music question. Can you just make a note of this?
A music question for the Luscious. Popular songs. Yeah, well, I'll quickly say, Tom, my theory on that is humans love for, culturally, we get accustomed to different sounds. That's why we appreciate different tonalities in different countries and different cultures. And so we have slowly over time become really familiar with the E, B, C minor, A chord progression. So we understand what it's saying musically, that it signifies the end of a phrase of music. Our brains, we really like repetition and familiarity, so we're more
a bit of chaos.
Likely to like that song. Sorry.
You need a bit of chaos, yeah.
But in the long term, we appreciate chaos more. However, our minds do enjoy a little bit of tension in music and within harmonies and tones. However, we want at the end a nice release. Like that's not a good example, but that's the idea if you can mentally think of that. And that chord progression gives us that tension and release. So that's why it's really popular and easy to use. It's also easy to write in. Yeah.
I did some research on a sound actually, just while we're taking a slight break, which is this sound.
He's hitting the chair.
Could you hear that?
It was like, can we just clap it?
Yeah. It's like the most famous phrase in music or something like this, right?
Yeah.
It's what you knock on the door. Dun, 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 dun. I forget the name of it. It's called like something and I can probably find it by searching match in the gas tank, boom, boom, which is what it says on Who's Eating Gilbert Grape, right? But it's actually got this huge history behind it because it's got a call and an answer, and it's based in around some blues, and the history of that sound is absolutely amazing. Shave and a haircut is what it is. Highly recommend anyone go look it up.
Thanks, Stephen. Yes. And also, we across music in all cultures enjoy call and answer. We really like that in music because, and I think it also has happened tribally and through societies because we've got men and women, and the whole call and answer thing is, a response between
and working in the fields, being on ships. So there's been during COVID, there's been a resurgence in the sea shanty movement.
The sea shanty
on
movement.
TikTok.
Really?
And that's a big call and answer thing.
I watch a lot of TikTok. Which shanty we're talking about? You're talking about Castaways? That's not a shanty.
What's Castaways?
We are castaways.
No, I don't know this.
I
like
cute song that's really overused on TikTok.
Oh really? I'm not. I'm still trying to understand TikTok. I can't wrap my head around it properly. But maybe search mash in the gas tank, boom boom, shaving a haircut is the name. But
Pranav, in India, are you familiar with that? Does that rhythm remind you of anything that? I
wonder if the tempo, because it doesn't really have the tone isn't as important as the pacing.
That's right. The rhythm.
Is it rhythm?
Yeah, because you could do it slowly. It could be paced slowly. Good.
Bum, 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 bum.
Hey.
Okay, so we have a huge amount of information. You have a motor protein, helicase, attached to the DNA strand, which here is going to be the purple. I'm just going to quickly zip through.
Yeah.
Attached to the start of the DNA strand, which slows the DNA down through the pore, and at the same time, the ions are passing through the pore. Then the small current measure. Okay. So, on this, basically, what's really cool about nanopore sequencing is it's a combination between electronics and biology. Do you see this grey surface? This is a semiconductor. I believe it's metal.
Wow.
But silicon, that blue thing,
looks human-made.
Well, we've made it on a sheet of metal, but we punched holes in it, and then we bound these proteins, which are biological elements, to the metal. Now, we can't actually see it, but right here, there's the world's most sensitive voltage measurer. And as the DNA goes through, if you have a look at these bases, they're slightly different. That's one. So there's 2 strands of DNA there. And then the helicase unzips it, and then it becomes 1 strand of DNA. as each of the G's, T's, C's, and A's go through, their charge is slightly different, and we can read that out across the chip. This is how we can do DNA sequencing. Now, if that's a piece of viral DNA, or what we call cDNA, because we copy the RNA into DNA, we can measure the bases, and we can look at those bases and see how they've changed and work out where the virus came from. Because it will slowly change over time. We can look at where it's changed and guess its parental lineage. Much the same way that Maury Povich would say, you are the father or you are not the father.
You are the father.
You are the father of the COVID. We know with the lineage. We can see what changes have been carried on and which changes haven't been carried on.
Which, evolution.
That's right.
Adaptation.
And we can, and also there's certain changes that are more likely to happen and certain changes that are less likely to happen.
Right.
So G's are more commonly go to C's than they do to T's or A's. Right. So we can actually work out kind of timing. We can look at the DNA. It's one of the ways that we can work out how long ago certain changes have happened is by looking at this. It's a form of molecular clock. Really cool, yeah.
Ooh. And Van Che, I don't know if I said that right. Twitch is down right now. That's correct. Thanks for letting us know it's still down. Yeah. So
thank you for
having Facebook today.
Having an XR party with us. We'll party on Facebook while it's down. The benefits of multi-stream.
Benefits of multi-stream. You guys need to advertise your Twitch link when you post going live. I can just type it in now. Okay.
We don't need to advertise your Twitch link when you post.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we can.
Oh yeah, I'll type it. Oh yeah, I can do it. Oh no, I can't because I'm not on Twitch. How can we do it today?
Law forms under the law application.
I'll put it on Facebook. All right.
So I'm going to play this in the background while we go, and we're going to watch the magic of nanopore technology. This hasn't been out for a long time. There were a lot of problems with nanopore. So all the sequencing technologies have only come out in the past 20 years, right? Yeah. That's when the first real sequencing happened. Now, what's crazy about these sequencing technologies? When nanopore first came out, you can see the bases coming off now. So there's the charges going through. When it first came out, there was a lot of problems. It was making a lot of mistakes. 3% of the bases were wrong. But we noticed that there were things like there was too many A's or something like that. And it didn't really match up. There is an issue with Twitch, Peter. And basically what happened is, when we went back and looked at it, we found out there was actually some epigenetic modifications, the changes to the backbone that were causing these errors. So we could go back through and actually pull more information out of historical sequencing, which is really interesting to be able to get more information from data we collected before, because we found out what was causing the error, which is really cool.
Amazing. I'm just linking some people our stream. That's amazing. And it's called nanopores.
Nanopore technology.
Nanopore.
There we go.
Crazy.
Better have steady hands when lining that one up. And it uses microfluidics, one of my favorite technologies. And I'm actually trying to adapt microfluidic technology for my test at the moment, which is really exciting. Fantastic. So we've completed the sequence of the genome, because there's areas that we weren't able to sequence very well. So when we look at the human genome, we talked before, it's broken up into chapters, right?
Yes.
So, we got 100 messages.
Hey, thank you guys.
So we're broken up into chapters, right? And they're called chromosomes. What does an X chromosome look like? It's got it's an X,
I don't know,
right?
It's an X?
Which is one half from your mum and one half from your dad.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Is that right?
I gotta think. Yeah. Pairs of chromosomes, I think. Yeah. Now, we'll just say you have an X chromosome, but there's some areas. So what are the areas that are non-coding that are interesting? There's the bits in the middle that hold the X together, which we call the centromeres, and they're notoriously difficult to sequence.
Okay.
Then we have the ends of the chromosomes called the telomeres, which are responsible for anti-aging or aging in general. They're the molecular clock. These areas are really hard to sequence because it's just junk DNA that's designed not to be opened. It's packaged away because its purpose is structure. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
crazy. We are castaways. Hello there.
Now, you've also taken on a new project this week. You are going to have a new career.
Which one?
You are going to learn. you're going to.
Oh, okay. Hey, guys. I really want superpowers. It's really that simple. I'm waiting. I'm still waiting for my Hogwarts letter. I'm still waiting for the day I wake up. I've been looking at spiders lately, going, which ones are radioactive? Which one do I need to get friendly with? So just still waiting for my superpowers. So anyway, I have recently found a course that I'm going to do. It's online, and it's going to teach me how to speak to dead people.
How do you speak? Is this an AI program that allows you to reconstruct someone's consciousness?
And Mom, what do you think about this? What do you think about me spending my money on this course?
I think you should kill the person who runs the course and ask them to give you the bank details over... What is it called? It's not internet. How do the spirits communicate?
Spirit Link. I don't know.
Spirit Link.
Yeah.
We should do that. That's fantastic. James is out. The pseudoscience is...
Yeah.
But in the future, we're going to be able to have this, right? Because human beings aren't that complex. We can... if you have an AI... You can train the AI to imitate you. That's what it does, essentially, right? Is it tries and guesses what you would say under certain circumstances.
Yeah.
So in the future, we may be able to actually... James is out.
Laters, James.
We might actually be able to get an AI to do that. And we could have a form of spirit link.
They would know people so well, except they've stored all their emails and... selling, and buying.
Digital footprint?
Yeah, digital
buying,
footprint.
yeah.
So they can be like, oh, your grandma wants you to buy yourself a baseball bat.
Yeah.
Because they know, and you're like, of course, my grandma.
Well, Google already knows what I'm going to buy before I want to buy it, right? And Facebook knows this. So it's doing a really good job. How hard would it be for it to imitate me after I've gone?
Well, I mean, there's a great Black Mirror episode on that.
Yeah, which one?
Where this it's a really it's I mean, they're all.
This is where you download the consciousness and they put it inside the brain.
They put it inside a human model toy. There's a human model.
Oh, that's right.
And she's going, so I can have. And they've downloaded all his emails and his talking style. But he's died in a car crash. But she can have him there with her. He's not entirely himself because there's some points where she's like, just go away, just go kill yourself. But he's like, no, I can't, and because we're programmed not to. And in the end, I won't ruin the episode. It's really interesting. Anyway, so I'm going to do this funny course. It's actually a meditation course. So it's 7 weeks of meditation.
I want to hear all about it as you do it.
By the end, you can talk to dead people. So
I'm very interested. I think that, and also on this note as well, what's his name? Tim Leary, one of the acid pioneers of the 70s. He actually tried to upload a version of his consciousness that did this. It was a chat program on their Amiga or something, and you could actually chat to him with some of his responses. And this was in the 80s.
Oh, he was ahead of his time.
Definitely ahead of his time.
Let's jump into some comments.
Did you see the ad campaign that Signal wanted to run on Instagram recently? It showed you just how much they know from data harvesting.
No, I would like to know what they know about me. I recently went into my Google preferences. You can see, what they know about you in your Google settings and your Google profile. And it knew that I really like to buy skincare products. And some other things. And knew that I was a woman between the age of whatever. I can't remember what they had, Anyway, it was good. Anyway, that was basically it. It's really interesting. Go see what Google knows about you guys.
I've done it before, and it just had very broad information, like camping or something, But in iOS 15, you can, there's something that adds 3 to 4 contacts, and if you pass away, the Apple ID will be transferred.
Wow.
Do you reckon you need to put that in your will?
That's cool, Pranav.
In your last will and testament? And I want my Apple ID and my Spotify playlists to go to...
Why not?
I would pass on a digital legacy.
That's a subscription though, isn't it? But
yeah, they can pay forever.
It'd be cool. If you had kids and you're like, but when I die, I still want my money to go towards your Spotify subscription. So whenever you listen to music, you'll think of me.
Yeah, well, people do that. So my girlfriend did a will for someone, and they said we might have talked about this before. A lot of people provide a trust fund for their animals beyond the grave.
Oh, for expenses which come with
So they said, I want to put away $15,000 and the interest that it makes will pay off the dog's care. Yeah. But he said he named the dog and then wrote, or replacement dog.
Oh, okay.
But there could be a situation where there's like, the whole human race has collapsed. There's just one trust fund earning interest. And there's like a dynasty of dogs because or replacement dog. So it can just keep going forever. And the whole human race is just giving these dogs sirloin steak while the whole of the humanity is like collapsed. And there's one dog in a palace. You never know.
The AI misreads the will.
That's right.
Must supply for one dog forever.
Or replacement dogs.
Or replacement dogs. I was going to say something else. So we talk about wills, Spotify. Oh yeah. There's also like Facebook legacy, and you can give your social media over to. So I've allocated someone that a friend of mine who will receive my social media account when I die. And I think that's cool. Because and then you don't have to sort of, I don't know, I guess people don't have to know your passwords. And when people die, everyone's freaking out anyway. No one knows what to do. So I think if you can make things a little bit easier, that's all right. And not that my social media profile's that important. I just sometimes, it can be nice to send a message out to people being like,
I'll be like, just kidding, I'm not dead.
Nice.
I want to schedule my posts for the next 5 years after I die. And when my will gets executed, push the button and it's like, just kidding, guys, I'm not dead. No, seriously, come dig me up, please.
You just troll people, maybe years later.
Now,
I'm not dead. Not really, unless
maybe, or it will pay someone on Airtasker to go out and take some photos and then upload them so that no one's really sure.
Oh my god, the things you could do.
Now, Van, just before that goes off the screen, Van said that we can't replicate the motivations of people. So it's actually interesting. We can have these chatbots, but can the chatbots say, I don't really feel like talking today? Which is something that it doesn't have that motivation,
right? You ever
right?
think of that before? Like, because when you've got AIs, they can totally be like people, but people generally get tired.
Yeah.
AI will never get tired, you guys.
Imagine if you go to that chatbot and you're like, oh, hey, Commonwealth Bank, I was just wondering if I could check my account. Sorry, not feeling it today. Having a bit of an off one. Sorry, meow. You'll just have to deal with yourself.
What are other human emotions that AIs won't feel? So there's being tired.
Yeah. Pain, unless we specifically force them to experience pain.
So you can be like, the AI can be like, I'm having a headache, and you can be like, no, but they could fake it because they just look up symptoms of headache and they'd be like, oh, it's about a level 7 out of the 10 pain scale. It's a tension headache. Like, oh, it sucks. Like, so they can maybe fake that, but
they can fake everything. That's the problem. But would they have the drive to fake it, or is it just a table where they're like, oh, 70% chance I don't actually want to do anything today? And it just goes, well, I'm at 60, so I better do something right now because the last 6 times I didn't answer.
AI won't be lazy like humans are.
What if we program it to be lazy?
How do you do what's that like?
Just train it on a program.
Can AI be flirty?
I think it can.
AI's not going to want to date, right? Humans want to do that.
Watch out. Attention. There's AI in your area that wants to
AI honeypots.
AI honeypots, yeah.
Take your money. It's so good. They already know everything you like and love, so...
Maybe we should set up an OnlyFans for a person that doesn't exist, and a digital character, and it will just work out what the fans want, optimize towards that, and steal their money most effectively.
A friend of mine, actually she's not a close friend, maybe an acquaintance, but I'd like to be a friend, she seems cool. She has OnlyFans, and she's in the top 0.07% of all OnlyFans creators.
What's her name?
Her name, I don't know if I should say. It's probably fine, but I don't know. I don't know if I should. Sorry, maybe I won't. I
follow someone who's got in that top percentage.
Oh my god, I'm going to write down. You can tell me.
I follow Alicia Mira.
I don't know.
She's like a Barbie doll, so yeah.
Oh, okay. Like, I'm sure it's fine because she's actually always marketing her OnlyFans, but I just don't know. So
that's alright.
Anyway, but she was saying that she creates content 4+ times a day, and I've never
4+ times a day.
Yeah.
Who works that hard?
I was like, she works so hard. She works so hard. So I'm just thinking like, and is she a millionaire? Yes, she is. I think she is. And anyway, like,
Pranav was asking if the
impressed.
camera was vibrating. It was us kicking
No,
and
we just
bashing the
keep
table.
kicking the table. Oh, we did it again. The screen is like really every
Yeah.
time we touch the table, it's like that. Sorry. But I was just gonna say, so the AI is gonna have to be creating content 4+ times a day, and I just don't know if we can keep that up.
Yeah.
Like, what's robot?
It's going to do it 8 times a day.
8 times. A day.
800 times a day.
What content is it gonna have? It's
Everything.
AI.
Its fans will be only fans. They won't do anything else.
They will be actual fans.
Only fans.
That below air.
They'll be literally just spinning in their seats. They won't. So interestingly, I think Nathan might have told me this. Netflix views. Who do you think the competitors to? Who do you think Netflix thinks its competitors are?
The Hulu and
Yeah.
Stan
Yeah.
and future entertainment devices.
No. Well, kind of. Actually, yes.
Netflix over to Blockbuster.
That's right.
So Netflix.
Future entertainment devices is a very good guess. Very good guess. It's actually all of them. It considers its competition anything that's not watching Netflix. It considers sleep, going to the toilet, having a shower as competitors to Netflix.
Who says this? What do you
Netflix.
mean? Wait, is there an official statement? What do
Their
you mean? How do you know?
their company sees anything that's not Netflix as competition. They want you to watch Netflix 24/7. That's their mission of their company.
Where did you read this?
Oh, some fucking startup person told me. I don't know.
Okay.
But it's a crazy idea though
people.
that often like companies, startups and things like that, they optimize towards these like impossible scenarios. But they're like, okay, well, in this situation, how do we make people watch Netflix in the toilet? How do we get Netflix in the shower? And they end up like, they might not get that exact thing, but maybe they'll get part the way there. They might say, oh, what about if when you pull up to the petrol station to fill up your car, there's a screen and it's like, oh, hey, Lucy. And it starts showing you the last episode of what you were watching, right? So like, these are the types of things that you wouldn't normally think about. Like, no one wants to watch, their own Netflix while they're filling up a car, unless you're Netflix, the company, in which case you're like, our goal. We need to broadcast Game of Thrones into their dreams. Yeah. We need to like make their entire life about our company.
That's amazing. So Netflix's true competitor is time. Humans' time.
Inattention to Netflix.
Yeah.
Everything.
So Netflix
Life.
doesn't even want, it wants time and money. Yeah.
Yeah. It wants you to do nothing but Netflix. I just find it so fascinating.
That is really fascinating. Emily says maybe Netflix should make less shit shows. I like these shows. I think they do some really good content.
We need we need someone on the drums. That's our next hire for this show. Is the person on the drum kit.
Is your name Iulian Demetrescu? It's
Julian?
not about the quantity. It's about quantity.
Julian?
Netflix Neuralink collab then.
Yeah, download. There's got to be a special name for jacking in when you stream. Yeah.
Broadcast it straight to our brains.
Yeah.
24/7.
And now I think as well, something that hasn't really come to the fore, but they've spoken about a little bit. Do you remember that the Choose Your Own Adventure on Netflix?
Black Mirror? Before you go into this, I just had a thought I would gladly have it broadcasted because it's like sometimes your dreams suck. Why not just
often your dreams suck.
Have a show instead of your dreams.
What is Mitch Hedberg? He's like, I hate dreaming. He's like, I don't want to race. I don't want to make go-karts with my landlord.
I know, I saw that.
Actually,
the dreams are crazy, man. Next thing you're making go-karts with my landlord.
Do you know why? They were talking about this, Julian. Very recently, there was actually an article. Someone proposed, why are we making go-karts with your landlord in your dreams? To prepare yourself for unexpected situations. So they think it's an evolutionary adaptation to prime the brain to be prepared for unusual situations to increase your ability to not get killed.
Yeah.
How cool is that? Really, really recent, really interesting.
And sorry, so you were talking about the Bandersnatch, the Choose Your Own Adventure episode of Black Mirror on Netflix. That was cool.
A lot of our entertainment is very passive, but we think if it's Neuralink, it's probably going to be some sort of interaction, including Eden saying...
Eden says, but then and I'm like, but then we might get dream ads like compute drama. Oh my God, what a nightmare.
I would be fine with dream ads, as long as I got money for the dream ads.
Yeah, it's funny. I was just realizing that when we read out the comments, we can really read them out with whatever tone or we like. So Dean could be like, "How far away are the metaverse? Do you think?" Or it could be.
So when we're talking about the metaverse, so the metaverse, I don't actually know about. I've only read about it because I haven't watched Ready Player One.
I'm gonna give everyone a really casual voice. Go on.
Are we gonna give everyone? No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
I just want to put something on in the background that's not.
Jake Paul. I like that you put in a J and Jake
I was going to put Jurassic Park
or
something.
Jurassic Park.
Or just dinosaurs.
Or the Logan Paul and
I'm just going to put on dinosaurs because dinosaurs are good.
Mayweather. We can put on
Isn't Logan Paul that YouTube guy?
Yeah. Jake Paul and Logan Paul. Yeah, guys, what do we think about YouTubers?
We're just going to watch.
Boxers.
We're just going to watch all of the dinosaurs.
I am here for it. The
Yeah.
entertainment is real. All right. Where are we? Let's go. Oh, that's a cool background.
Yeah.
Okay.
When we have the brain network interface, we'll be able to make our own movies. Yeah, so basically, we're waiting for Neuralink or competitor to allow read and write. When we can read and write, we're going to have some form of like metaverse very soon afterwards. We will be able to connect our brains together, which is going to be super interesting. We know that we can connect brains together. We've done it in rats. We haven't done it with humans yet. I would love to do this, but rats in Japan can speak to rats in America. They have the same, their brains speak the same language. Now, Elon Musk famously this week said language is going to be gone in 5 to 10 years because...
I love him. He makes outlandish claims.
He does. Now, futurists never get pulled up when their claims are false.
On Twitch. Twitch must be working again. Could anyone let us know if Twitch is happening again?
Van's on there. Yeah.
Oh, also, hold on. Emily says, reposting this, I feel like it sparks some questions and faults about algorithms. Also, I find Facebook algorithms to be really ableist sometimes. Because I talk about autism, Facebook sometimes assumes I have children and want ads for childcare and alternative medicine.
Oh, so they think it's kids that have autism.
Like you want to cure your child from autism with... silly alternative medicine, right? Yeah,
and we one thing that's very exciting about brain-computer interfacing is that we're going to be able to have new insights into things like locked-in syndrome, people in comas, people with autism. We're going to be able to change the way that some of the processing happens, especially with reading and writing. Things like attention disorders are going to have new ways. So when we think about AI and VR and all these things, we often think we're always like, I'll be able to stream Spotify or whatever. But there's huge therapeutic uses for some of these things which aren't immediately apparent. Like we talked about before, the VR to correct lazy eye.
Yes.
But BCI, brain-computer interfacing with Neuralink, it's going to be a serious game changer for a lot of people.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. Oh, Saint Just Germany, welcome. We're talking about all things science. Robert, welcome. Using brains for data transport, like in Johnny Mnemonic.
So he had a little jack where he could download information into his brain, and then he was a data mule. So
ooh, if you guys could choose where the port on your head will go, where would you choose?
I'd do the Chappelle Corby. It would be where the boogie board attaches to my body. And I'd put the data into the boogie board, and then I'd be like, no, a baggage handler must have put it on there. It wasn't me, I swear.
So I think a lot of girls get undercuts these days. We're still going to be able to do ponytail action because sometimes it gets hot and you just want to the hair. So I feel like it'd be there.
Oh, on the side.
Under the ear, like that. I feel like it wouldn't be right at the back because maybe, I don't know, you want to keep it protected or something. So I feel like it'd be on the side.
Well, right now, Neuralink, they're saying it's going to go here, and Cochlea sits here. So we already have some ports. Generally around the back top of the head is where people are looking. But
to access the right part of the brain.
In Matrix and Johnny Mnemonic, it's right in the back, I think. Right. Was it right in the back in Johnny Mnemonic? I forget. But I think maybe you could do it even cooler. Maybe you could have something in your eyes and you could flash ones and zeros in and it would just go straight in. So it'd be a wireless connection.
I love it. Or regarding a title, which Chinese city is the most advanced in your opinion? Good question.
So is this advanced technologically wise, I'm guessing? So which is the highest development?
Ooh la la.
Is it like most futuristic?
Okay, I feel like, yes. What sort of advanced? You want technologically advanced? Do you want, like, as in a global city? advanced in food technology. No, you know what I'm thinking?
In food technology.
Okay, Guangzhou is a really great hub for all. So what I'm thinking, say, just Germany, is that so China's like a real melting pot of startups and technology and science. And I think that Guangzhou is great because there are all these startups and business and things that happens there. So that really, speeds development along. However, I have a real soft spot for Shenzhen. Yeah, absolutely, it's a tech center. But guys, I wanna bring it back to my favorite, Shanghai, which I just think is the most developed and advanced because it has a mixture of Western and Eastern culture, not equally. Obviously, there's far less Western culture, but I think it's really important to have the mix of the two and the two styles of thinking to basically speed along the process of learning and knowledge. So I think Shanghai is the best example. I think it's the most advanced city.
Have you been to Hong Kong?
I have been to Hong Kong.
How do they compare?
Hong Kong is far more westernized. So people prefer often to speak English there than Chinese. And it's very different. But I'd say technologically, and of course we already know China is really far ahead, certainly in Australia. And I'm not sure where you're coming from, but say just Germany. But in China, everyone's paying with their phones. No one carries wallets or cards or keys. And the transport around the city. You're from Cologne. Is it how you say it?
Yeah. And what's interesting as well is sometimes the futurists talk about, I think it was William Gibson or Neil Stephenson, one of the cyberpunk guys, said that the future's already here. It's just unevenly distributed.
Yeah,
right?
I believe that.
So when we think about Guangzhou, even though
Guangzhou,
even though they make the technology, they don't implement it. And that's why it's important when you're saying Shanghai, culturally they embrace the technology and use it with an East meets West style. So it actually puts it in a higher development index.
A higher development index. Good term right there. I really believe, all the other Chinese cities have all this amazing technology going on, but I personally think my take is that having the Western culture there as well, having them mixed together, really strengthens both sides and speeds development. Yeah. Interesting. Syntheogenesis, what a name. Hey, what do you think about artificially implanting in vitro grown neuron culture into a human brain? Could it be beneficial? Don't know a lot about neurology, but I think it would be beneficial.
Yeah, so stem cells are really cool because you can kind of squirt them in and then they just kind of work out what they are. And they're like, oh, okay, what's that? Oh, that's a brain cell. Oh, maybe I'm a brain cell. And then it becomes a brain cell.
Oh my God.
So there's been some research. Yeah. It looks around, works out what it should be. So there's been some research into degenerative brain conditions, and squirting raw stem cells into the brain is not a good long-term solution, but it actually has some positive effect.
Amazing.
So people with Alzheimer's, you can put it in. The problem is, if you have Alzheimer's, it doesn't go back and put the memories back in.
Yes.
But it can slow degeneration, and it can help you build new memories and stuff like that.
Right. And I'm just reading the top comment. Do you follow people like Bobby the Grey, Kurzweil, and Diamandis? I know.
Yeah, Ray Kurzweil is the insane.
I know him.
He's the singularity guy. Ray Kurzweil is one of the founders of the singularity movement. Now,
American inventor and futurist. Yeah.
Aubrey de Grey is
I've heard of her too.
him. Aubrey is the bearded life extension guy. We've talked about him briefly before. He thinks that mitochondrial aging is the cause of aging, one of the 7 causes. And then we got
Is he the one that's all for NAD+?
Yeah.
Okay,
One of. There's
right.
So he and the guy from UNSW, what's his name?
Oh, he has a very long beard.
Incredible.
He has an incredible beard.
Incredible.
Yes.
And then Peter Diamandis is abundance is his big thing.
Abundance? What sort of abundance?
Abundance in everything.
Cool.
Yeah.
He sounds like a great spiritual leader.
I'm just gonna put in.
Yeah.
What do we want to watch?
Guys, what do we want to watch in the background?
There was something that, you know what we're gonna watch? Rockets. So I have a quick rockets. That's really good. We're gonna watch this. While we're watching this, I'm going to quickly do a quick space roundup. Most people in place. Wearable tech is probably okay. So on the way over, I did a quick roundup. Do you know how crazy it is living in the future, which is where we're living right now?
How crazy is it?
How many? Okay.
It's very crazy.
When our parents were our age, a rocket taking off, front page of the newspaper, man in space.
Yeah.
I know of at least 2 rockets that went up to space this week.
That's amazing.
It was a resupply mission for the ISS, and there was also a satellite that was launched by SpaceX on a Falcon 9 rocket. So it's like, this is crazy. This is happening like every single week. We are completely living in the future. The dinosaurs would all fall on their faces in real life. Now,
I'm just posting our Twitch link in the chat. So guys, if you're on Facebook, please just at least follow us on Twitch.
Please we need it so we can make lots of money from all of our subscriptions.
And then we can stream full time, and you'll get so sick.
That's
of us.
right.
And Meow will do specific lessons on different things, and I will teach Chinese.
And sing the intro and outro theme.
And I will take requests. Ooh, floor systems, structural, propulsion, and others.
Okay. Oh, we still haven't covered one of our main themes. Okay, so just quickly. So SpaceX sent a resupply mission to the ISS this week, which was really cool. And the first...
Did you write that down?
I wrote it down. I went
the messiest notes.
I did a quick roundup.
I love it.
So SpaceX regularly re-land their first stage, and guess what the ship it re-landed on was called?
What? Okay. Yeah.
It's called Of Course I Still Love You.
That's what they called it. That's great. How cool.
Very
It's like, honey, I've got to leave you for 6 months. I'm sailing out. What are you sailing out on? Of course I love you. I know you love me, but what are you sailing out on? Of course I love you.
Exactly.
I know, but...
Well, he's married to Grimes, and she can just sing him a song. She can just be like, "Dear Elon, I love you a lot." But he's like, "Well, how do I tell her I love her? I can name a rocket after her, but what if it blows up?" So he's like, "Oh, I'll name the ship that the thing lands on." Yeah.
Was that thought process?
That's what I guessed. That's what I guessed.
I love it. And Sages Germany, I'm realizing now your questions aren't simply for me, but for both of us. Oh wait, no, the second one's sort of me. Okay, do you think we could merge with AI at some point? Yeah, absolutely. And if Chinese social credit system could be the beginning of gamification of our lives, turning them to gathering points and achievements like in a video game. Okay, so I already feel like any sort of point system is gamified.
Yep, I've got my Qantas frequent flyer points, and I love them. All my life is built around getting these points.
Really?
Yep.
Do you go shopping?
My gas, my electricity. I just got a new credit card, which everything's going to get paid on to get me points.
Oh, but they changed it recently, so all of mine expired. And you know the delivery items, you now have to pay. You previously didn't have to pay the shipping fee. Now you do.
For which points?
For Qantas frequent flyer shopping.
Oh no!
I know, so bad.
Boo,
so
Qantas.
I was like, I've got so many points. Obviously, I can't spend them on flights, and they're about to expire. So I was like, all right, I'll get this shitty box. It was like so crap. And then it was like, pay $15 shipping, and I was like, oh, well.
Excuse you.
So just so you know,
Yeah.
you need to know that, because if you're so into this. So yeah, I believe that and I think in fact if I have a Chinese social credit score.
Do you?
I do. However, it's attached to my bank profile, which of course it is, so they can see my spending.
What's your score?
That's why I don't want to show everyone.
What's
my
your
bank
score? Can you tell me the
details.
score? Is it good?
I think it's quite average.
Okay. Did you kick a homeless person or something?
You know me, I love kicking homeless people. That's all I do.
Also, before we go,
I'll bring it up.
Van has asked, "Can you sing?" I don't know if that's. I think that's a request.
What song would you like?
Could you please sing one line of "Listen to Your Heart" by Roxette? Because I haven't had it.
Listen to your heart. For you. Listen to your heart. Is that the right one?
Amazing,
Okay.
amazing.
Where is my credit score?
Life is already gamified. It's called culture. So this is actually very interesting because culture is a series of people doing the same kind of things. There's an unagreed upon set of rules that we use, but it's still a game. I would agree with that.
Completely forgotten how to use this.
Have you looked at the changes in Medicare? I haven't actually seen them. I'd be really keen. I haven't seen any changes to Medicare. I'm more than happy to cover that next week. It's something I'm very, very interested in. Currently, I'm reading about the history of the Liberal Party from Menzies through to Howard.
Really? That's
Yeah.
good to know.
I'm very interested in nation branding and vision.
Nation branding and vision.
Yeah, so Australia hates anyone that tries and does anything good. It's called tall poppy syndrome. Anybody that puts themselves above anyone else gets cut down, right?
That's real.
It's real. So I'm very interested in how do we shape our nation? And how do we have vision without having vision? Because if you put forward vision, you get voted out. Or you just get absolutely annihilated, right? I'm very interested in how does Australia work because I don't quite get it. So, but Menzies actually had vision, so I don't get it.
All right. So my credit score is okay. I'll reveal it to you.
I can see.
It is 586.
Holy shit!
So that's not even halfway.
Is 1,000 the top?
No. So I think it's like got to be 1,500 or something.
So you just download it.
586 isn't even halfway.
Can you bribe your way to a better score? Meow's score just suddenly goes down.
I was only in China I've been to China 6 times, but I've only had this account because only recently you couldn't a foreigner couldn't create a bank account. Actually, I had to be a resident in order to create this account as well, so you had to have a resident visa. Doesn't matter. Anyway, so I haven't had much time to build my credit, so perhaps that's why. However, it's small. What we were saying before about gamification, there are some games you can play on the bank app, to increase your score by like 1 or 2 points.
So you're not really a professional player yet because your ELO is only 1,000 is 1,500 in ELO.
Fantasia, 1,000 is starting point. Is that correct? Okay, yeah, it's low.
Why do you reckon you went down?
You know what? I paid my bills on time.
Maybe because you're not living in China.
So I'm not quite sure. I think it was pretty similar to being that in China. I just don't know the specifics of it enough. So do you know, Vantation, how to improve it? 1,000 is starting point. I wonder if it was my starting point though, considering
maybe because you're an immigrant.
It was already low.
Start at 300.
Because I'm not from China, I think I'm curious. I doubt that it would have been high.
Maybe when you were filling out the form, you ticked hard mode, not easy. Yeah.
All right. No. So, Tom. Oh, you were born in Hong Kong, but left when you were still a boy. No, you have to have a current bank account. Yeah, that's right. I saw a docu showing that buying baby nappies helps and buying alcohol decreases it. That's right. But
really, buying nappies.
I
wonder if we could optimize a completely batshit insane way to make your ELO skyrocket. Like become the best citizen. Like, so Lucy, how did you do it? And then behind you is our factory of nappies.
You got a lot of money, I'm sure. Actually, I think I did go to a few bars. Maybe that was.
Maybe you can buy the nappy and return it. And you just do that again and again.
Keep it. So yeah. Anyway, interesting. Okay, what were we talking about? Let's put in a video.
If you were in charge, what would you make?
Oh, give points and reduce points. What would you guys do?
I would
design a system.
What would pick for good citizens?
Okay, so paying like your bills on time. I would, like that would be one.
Is it? Is that really important to a functioning society?
Ooh, is it? Because I personally don't think it's that important to pay bills on time, even though I do it. And I think there are plenty of people that they can't pay their bills on time because they can't, because they don't have enough money. But that was just my first thought is, okay, well, that would be good for credit. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay,
we're on the moon, by the way.
I'm always ready to be wrong and to be corrected.
I think 2 things. What I'd have.
Yeah.
Littering. So people who litter, down. People who pick up litter, put it in the bin.
That's right, because it doesn't matter what wealth you have.
Yeah.
Littering doesn't,
If you litter, you're a cunt. If you litter, you're a cunt.
So this is not a system that favours the wealthy. I enjoy that.
Social credit. Social credit.
Yes.
The other thing, putting your shopping trolley back in the little corral.
Oh, the ethics question.
Yeah.
So, okay, littering for sure. What else could we judge people by that isn't influenced by wealth?
blood donation, organ donation, voting, and getting vaccines.
Voting would be good.
Yeah.
Blood donation, not everyone can do it, and in fact, there is still prejudice against gay people when it comes to blood donation, and gay people generally aren't allowed to donate blood.
I'm actually against blood donation out of principle,
What?
and I'm actually against organ donation.
Oh my god, explain yourself.
So, while there's enough poor people with blood and organs, we will never invent synthetic organs. That's my argument.
Oh, so you're saying that us donating is preventing the development of synthetic
Because it's real cheap to come and harvest our organs. Falun Gong. But basically, it's a disincentive to create synthetic blood. Like, why is that? Why do we give blood at all? Like why can't we just make artificial blood? If we can make an artificial steak, why can't we brew artificial blood? Like, that's insane, right? And why isn't this a real thing that's happening all the time? The reason is people just give it away for free. Having a healthy lifestyle, raising quality of life for yourself increases. I would say that going to the gym, I think, would be good, or exercising a certain amount of time and logging that.
Yeah, but not everyone can do that. Let's consider health issues too. Not everyone can exercise.
But I think that the social credit should be marked against what you're capable of.
Yeah.
So say, for example, as long as you're bettering yourself. Say, for example, if you're in a wheelchair, maybe you wouldn't have the same restrictions. Maybe it's like volunteering your time, or...
But maybe you don't have to better yourself. Maybe that's like... I really believe, I really strongly believe in bettering myself. And I think I really admire people who do it. But I've faced many times the idea that maybe the point of your life isn't to, like, you can choose not to better your life, and that doesn't mean you're a worse person.
But it means you have not as good a social credit score as someone who does, maybe?
I don't know about that as a value judgment.
Well, once we've got a value system, we have to start making judgments. We're just going to give everyone 1,000 points, and then the credit system doesn't matter anymore.
You know what's nice about organ donation is my cousin died recently, a month or two ago, and he donated, I love this, his liver, his lung, and his heart. So
amazing.
3 different people have a second chance at life. Isn't that fucking amazing?
Now, bear in mind, I say I hate organ donation.
I know.
I would donate my organs if I died.
I know. You just want the world to. I know you want.
There's the practicality, and then there's the theory, right?
Yeah.
If someone dies, they should donate their organs. But if we look at it theoretically, I don't want people to die so I can be right.
I understand.
I just want to say, I think what your cousin did was a very noble thing.
Oh, thank you. Well, why am I saying thank you? But yeah.
You can take the credit. He's not going to come stop you.
But he, so it feels that he's living on in those people. It feels that
Well, he is actually literally living on inside those people.
His love and his kindness also live on.
Yeah.
But we were saying, we were just like, we really hope that lung doesn't go to like a chronic smoker who's just lost their lung because they've been smoking too much. We were just sort of hoping.
They don't get lungs.
Hope that
smokers don't get lungs.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you sure? No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because their quality adjusted life hours is less than a non-smoker. It would go to someone with lung cancer that's not a smoker.
Oh, good to know. Because we're not allowed to know who they go
But how good would it be if you were smoking your entire life and you're like, fuck, both my lungs conked out. Sick, brand new one.
Sick, brand new one.
Give us a story.
Wow. So, Vantation says, I'm only alive due to blood donations from fellow Australians. That's awesome.
Yeah. Blood donation is super important, but we should be able to do it synthetically. Also, Nathan said that the more labour that's available, the less drive there is to automate, because we basically have supercomputers doing these jobs for essentially free. Right, $20 an hour or $30 an hour.
The more labour that's available, the less drive we have to
automate.
No, because companies want to save money, so they're still going to try and automate.
The thing is that people are very, very talented at doing such a wide range of jobs that to build the robots is really expensive. You know, Amazon was paying people in their warehouse to reach in and just grab stuff out of boxes because it's difficult to get a robot to grab different shaped things. But then that person can also go and like do a whole bunch of other stuff too. But to really get automation online, you have to make it too expensive to pay people. And as long as minimum wage is between $20 or $30, like, whew, it's cheap for what people do.
Right. That's interesting.
So please go and donate blood if you can. I will give you a social credit score. Maybe Van can give a social credit score. Every time he donates blood, he can be like, receives blood, he can be like, tick to that person.
Yeah, true. Yeah, so you can gift points.
And bad drivers, you know what? You should be able to take a photo of someone's number plate while you're driving and be like, VCC189, you cut me off, you're going down in the social credit. And then maybe if like 5 or more people all say that person's bad driver, their credit goes down.
Yeah.
Consensus models. Maybe we need...
But then I think people who cycle instead of drive should get a point. Because they get so much hate on the road.
Cyclists?
They're so great, yeah.
They should get 1 point for each wheel they have. And the car should get 4 points for each wheel they have.
Emily, I totally agree. Paying bills on time seems unfair to me. Some people are extremely overwhelmed and overworked, and some people have cognitive disabilities. And no, I totally agree.
Yeah.
I rescinded that idea. Yeah.
Multi-billion-dollar startup in artificial blood. I am down. If anyone wants to do a multi-billion, you heard it here. You're all under Friendier. We've signed a verbal contract right now. Do you think?
Like a fish. The way your eyes were just.
What's
like
the
a fish.
the sign language for fish is this?
God, that's just. I feel like that symbol's for everything in sign language. You're always like, and this is a
You
symbol
say that.
for ship, and this is a symbol for love, and it's always the same one.
It's not the same. Do you think we could progress science with a better understanding of mathematics? And this is a bit philosophical. Do you think we make mathematical inventions or discoveries? I think Stephen Morello wants to get in on this argument. This is a very Stephen argument. Do you think maths is important for science? So it is. But I actually agree with I don't think we invent maths, we discover it. It's natural, it's out there.
Yes, we discover it. Totally.
Yeah.
So agree. Are you good at maths?
No, I'm shit house at maths. That's why I study biology. Yeah. Biology is where all the maths rejects end up.
What level of maths did you do in the HSC? Go on.
I started with 4 and then I went to 3 and then I went to 2 and then I...
Started with 4. I think you were okay.
No, I went... Then at university I failed maths 5 times.
5 times?
5 times.
But you allowed to do it 5 times? I thought you only had to do it 3 times.
Which?
A subject.
Oh no, I went down the same thing. I did maths for life sciences and then I went into special maths for life sciences. I found this... It was 1131 to 1031 to 1011, which was like special education.
Yeah, good on you.
For biologists.
I failed. DJ Blaze.
Yo.
What a name. I love it.
Please, if you want to drop a link to your regular hard house DJ stream,
yes, DJ
please
Blaze,
have a listen. It's fantastic.
Stream.
It's on Thursday nights.
Oh, you know who DJ Blaze is.
Yeah. Please watch his stream. It's super interesting. He has great effects. I subscribe. I've given him money.
Effects like this?
Way better. Fish looks like Dove in the Happy Hands dance group from Napoleon Dynamite.
It does.
Yeah.
How many startup ideas have spawned from the screen now? Agreed, McTrickwit. So many.
I had some startup ideas this week, actually. One of them is I'm very interested in doing shrimp startup.
Shrimp startup.
Shrimps, oysters, algae, duckweed. I want to create a mini ecosystem that produces a lot of food.
Someone needs to give you millions of dollars and you can just be like, do the startup on here.
That's what I'm trying to do.
No.
What's that? Oh, boom goes the dynamite.
Oh, great. DJ Blaze, can you show us how to have better effects?
You got to watch his stream, please. Everyone, right now, click across, tune in on Thursday night. His streams are amazing. Brennan's online.
Welcome.
So, Brennan, I actually have some news. We are actually at a place that you have used before, which is when he was filming. He was the one who was doing the Beat Saber.
So
with augmented reality.
Yaki's telling me about it. That's so sick.
Now, there's one thing we haven't talked about today, which is this. So everyone's online.
Everyone, please.
The last 10 minutes.
Enjoy.
This week, what happened, Lucy? What happened?
So this, I believe it was a South Korean scientist, inventor, created this thing, which is like a third eye that sits on top of your head and it alerts you, I think via a vibration, when you are about to walk into a vehicle. So you
a pole.
Or a pole. Sorry, any object. And there we go. This guy.
If Kim Jong-un looked cool, this is what he'd look like.
He looks so cool. So anyway, basically you can look at your phone, because you know how when you see people crossing the road at the lights and everyone's just sort of looking down at their phones, and my dad's like, oh, these zombies walking around, I can't believe it. But what do you think about it? Meow and I think it's pretty cool.
I'm for it. Give me the third eye. Give me the third eye, the sixth finger, the third arm. I want everything. Whatever I've got, I want another one. 2 mouths, 4 nostrils, just double up on everything. Please drop in the links why you think it's a failure.
Yes, you think of course you think it's a failure, but why not let it be a vision? Like, for example, we're not looking ahead because we're looking at our phones, right? What are our phones, Meow?
Godlike entities.
Godlike entities, because they contain the internet. They're supercomputers.
It's more like the church that connects you to God. Because your phone is a dumb pipe, right? It's not what's on the phone, it's what it connects you to, right? And you were saying before, it's like praying when you're looking at it to God, and God is the internet.
I made a claim because I said that, the sum of all human knowledge and the internet is basically God. So when we're looking at our phones, we're basically just worshipping.
That's it. Praying. Plus, walking.
At the altar.
Walking is fucking boring. It is actually so boring. And like, wouldn't it be better just get the fucking camera to download it all, and if you really want to watch it, just put it on 2 times speed when you get home, like a boring lecture.
Who likes that? Walking is so boring.
Fucking 10 times speed.
Yeah,
that's way better.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's why people choose the treadmill, because they're bored. They
watch
but
TV. And then they like listen to podcasts and they like read what they want, right?
Yeah. I guess a walk in nature could be cool. Hey Christy, welcome.
I would put that on while I'm on the treadmill. And pretend like I'm walking down the street for full immersion.
It's so cool. Okay, I just feel like everyone, like 99% of people would be haters about the eye. But I think
99% of people can go fuck themselves, and they're gonna fucking come to the future, is what I say.
Don't be Luddites.
Yeah, that's right.
A Luddite is someone that does not embrace technology.
Do you know where it comes from?
Ooh.
Actually, I think I got it wrong. Lud. No, I was thinking of sabotage, which was by the things. So sabotage was hold on, let's have a look. Luddites.
Brandon, I feel like that's missing the mindfulness aspect of walking and experiencing. We totally think so.
No. You could increase the mindfulness. You just watch it at 2 times speed for double the mindfulness when you get home, and use the rest of the time to post to Instagram. I gotta catch up on my stories. There's no stories in
level up.
That's it.
Level up the mindfulness.
I'll tell you what, when Elon Musk can stream Instagram stories into my brain, I will do the mindfulness.
I want it to definitely stream conversations with Elon from my brain.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah. Everyone thinks that they've got mindfulness down, but are you doing mindfulness at times 2 speed? Are you really mindful?
Competitive mindfulness. Yeah, that's right.
Competitive mindfulness.
Yeah.
Exactly. We're just revolutionizing the mindfulness game. People hold like lectures and classes and webinars on mindfulness. Well.
Okay, so there is a crossover.
Meditation.
Which is that.
It's like me. I'm only doing meditation if it teaches me how to talk to the dead. Otherwise, why would I do it?
Okay, the sabotage and Luddites are part and parcel of the same thing. I was kind of correct. They both involve destroying machinery because people hate technology.
Okay.
Luddites were a secret, oath-based organisation of English textile workers in the 19th century, a radical faction of which destroyed machinery as a form of protest. They believed to have taken their name from a guy named Ned Ludd, who was a weaver, and he hated the looms.
He's weaving? He hated the looms?
Yeah.
He wanted to do it by hand.
You know what? One day, people are going to say the same thing. They're going to be like, did you hear about those Brennanites? They loved walking so much, they went and they stole the third eyes off people's heads, and the kids will go, no, they didn't. And we'll say, yes, they did. The Brennanites, they said the mind was important. We needed to relax it while we're walking. And they said, no. Okay, now saboteurs took a wooden clog, right?
Yeah.
And they were French, right? These were French. Those guys were English. And then the saboteurs were French. They hated the machinery. an automation, and the way they stopped it is they had a wooden clog, which was called a sabot, and they would throw it into the cogs of the machinery and sabotage it. So they both were Luddites, they were both saboteurs, and they hated technology. Don't be like the saboteurs. Don't be like the Brennanites. Embrace the third eye.
Filling up your mind faster equals mindful faster. What an equation, exactly.
And Brennan is programming the Brennanites right now.
You've got your first Brennanite. Christy has joined.
There we go.
There you go.
I want to see the logo. I want to see the agile startup. I want to see how this goes down. Now,
and I want to see the insane biology of the octopus.
Yeah, that's it. The tentacles. We will need extra tentacles.
Can you look at actual conspiracies? I'm so keen.
So there are actual conspiracies.
God, actually, I feel like if we start that, we're going to be telling
because it's not. It's interesting because you notice that there's conspiracy theories, but there are actually conspiracies. Like NSA were actually monitoring everything that we did. Because we didn't know that there was just surveillance of Microsoft Word and Windows and stuff. And then it was like one day, the government's like, oh yeah, Snowden was like, oh yeah, by the way, they actually are watching you all.
Yeah. How AFB.
Oh yeah, so this was, Stephen just dropped a link. Yeah, so basically, the Australian Federal Police found from forgive me if I'm wrong, I'm going to misrepresent this a little bit. They found a company that made custom hardware for phones, and then Canadian company, and then sent it through to. So there was a Canadian company making custom hardware for criminals with all security and encryption, and they sold it. And then the AFP and the FBI found it and shut them down. But then they actually said, oh, wait a minute, this is a really good opportunity for us to find out what the criminals are up to. So they put their own custom stuff in and then distributed it and gave it to all the criminals and found out what they're up to, infiltrated this network.
But which criminal would take a phone from the police? Like, come on. That's a crap. That's not intelligent.
You think this, right?
Come on.
No, they gave it to this. They took over the people that made it and didn't tell anyone, and then sent it through the same networks. So it was sold on the black market, and then they just they continue to do the same thing. But at the same time, we say like, who would do that? Who would put the fate of their security in some random company? We outsource our military in this country. We get France to build us submarines.
Oh, really?
What about if we go to war with fucking France?
Yeah, they're going to be like, deactivate.
Yeah, right.
But that's different. Deactivate. How do you say deactivate in French?
You just wave the white flag. It's whatever they do when they go to war. Yeah. Actually, they would just surrender. We'd be like, we're going to war with you, friends. So like, here, have our cheese, have our wine, we surrender. Okay, in New Zealand, they perfected bungee jumping. In America, they did base jumping. You know what the French extreme sport is?
What?
Parkour.
No, parkour is the sickest though.
Their extreme sport is the sport of running away. Right? It's like literally their whole country is about surrendering.
That's amazing.
I know the engines are full of brie.
My followers, primes, and viewers, I don't mind those bots, they're fine.
Bots.
They're funny. They up our comment count.
And they're sitting in here monitoring everyone, automating about how to be the most perfect AI.
Yeah.
They're just the babies of what one day will be the thing we join with.
Guys, if you want to become famous, you know what to do.
It was via a supply chain attack and an undercover agent influencing a real criminal. So this is about they did it via social engineering. Okay. So this is kind of
the engines are full of
brain. Now, just jumping back a little bit, this reminds me of Stuxnet, which, while we're on this, in the Middle East, over here, Stuxnet is probably the most interesting cyber attack that's ever happened, but we can't cover it in 2 minutes. So I might actually talk about it next segment, because it's hacking paid for by the American government. When they discovered this hack, which shut down a nuclear reactor, they said this is such an advanced form of hacking, it has to have been done by a government.
Oh.
And it was done via leaving USB keys at a cafe.
At a cafe nearby the nuclear power plant.
In Iran, yeah. It's brilliant. Absolutely genius. I'm going to reread. I only briefly got to read some of this because I've been very busy with work, unfortunately. I'm building a very boring, very complicated quality management system at the moment. But this is about time. Did we cover everything? Is there anything you guys want to cover us for next week?
So much fun. I could talk all day.
We've done 2 hours. We're smashed through it.
We started a little bit late. But
we did.
But we still. That was 2 hours. That felt like half an hour.
We didn't even talk fusion in China.
We didn't even talk about what fusion.
Fusion in China. There was a fusion reaction for 120 seconds.
Yeah.
Something like this, the longest fusion that's ever happened. There was a huge debate about whether it was propaganda. But it probably wasn't, and that was one of the things I wanted to put on in the background while we're wrapping up, which is
wrap it up with a wrap.
So we're gonna watch a nuclear reactor switch on. Okay, which is very cool. Okay, while we're wrapping up, Stephen Morellis shared a link. One of the strains of flu is gone. So there's influenza A and influenza B. Just super quick wrap up. Influenza A, influenza B. Influenza A has H1N1 and H3N2. Those are both still here. But influenza B, it has 2 strains, 2 ancestries, right? Some white person's name and then the Yamaguchi strain. The Yamaguchi or Tamagotchi strain, whatever it is. There's 3 out of the 6 clades are gone. So it makes all of our vaccines for the future easier to make.
Where did they go?
They went extinct because they couldn't reproduce
because everyone's vaccinated against so much.
And COVID locked everyone in their house, so the virus can't transmit. And if it can't transmit, it dies.
That's such good news.
So even though COVID's killed a whole heap of people, in the future the flu will kill less people, which is a silver lining to the very big fucking cloud.
This is a big thing. I want to repeat this to people because, guys, isn't this cool? Like that. Like, this is a great thing that is a real positive. Okay, so some types of the flu are now extinct.
Yeah, gone
forever. Would it be like 50%? Like, how many of them?
Mate, well, I don't know how dominant, I don't know what the pie chart of the division of the flu is, but it's a serious one, and it's also one of the hardest ones to vaccinate against. So H1N1 and H3N2, those are the same, like, all very similar every year. But with the Yamaguchi strain, or clade, it was actually quite complicated because there was 6 varieties in there, and they have to kind of, like, guess which one's going to come. Yeah. And just before COVID, they got it wrong in America and a lot of people died. Now, that whole clade that they were looking at, it's gone. They don't need to even include it anymore. And they haven't seen it in March 2020 to March 2021. Gone. They think it might be extinct, which is super exciting. Yeah. Suck it, influenza.
Yeah.
Boom. COVID, good guy.
COVID.
Yeah, that's it. Good guy COVID, putting the sunglasses on. Okay, oh yeah, Julian, 160 million degrees. I believe that the fusion reactor in China was hotter than the core of the sun.
Yeah, I read that too. It's
really
amazing.
Exciting if it turns out. COVID. Oh yeah, Eden.
COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Okay, and I think that's going to be pretty much it for this week.
Guys, because we have to save some special time for next week.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for all of your contributions. Please, throughout the week, share on our walls anything you see that's exciting. Please drop in any links that you want us to talk about. It's been awesome. We've had such a great time. If you get a chance and you're watching us on Facebook, please go across to Twitch.
Please
we'll drop a link in. It really helps us because our statistics are drawn from Twitch. If you missed us and you're listening to us later on, go back through the chat history and you'll be able to see some links. And thank you very much. There we go.
There's a link. Please just go and click follow.
And please support anyone else you see on Twitch who has a channel because we're trying to create a cool community where every night we're going to have fun things to watch with cool music and cool conversations. Thank you all for your support. It helps us so much. And we'll see you next Tuesday.
Yes. So guys, put us in your Google Calendars if you like, or if you don't use Google Calendars, your Outlook calendars.
What time do we start?
If you don't use calendars, just find your local stone tablet and inscribe Tuesday nights, 7:30 to 9:30, around about. Please allow time for tech setup.
At least 10 to 15 minutes. And anything you want, please send us a message throughout the week. Tell us what you want us to talk about. If you see a cool news article, be like, oh, Lucy, I love this thing about Elon Musk, or Meow, I want you to talk about space.
A video we can show in the background.
Please, we'll try and think of some ways that we can get the videos set up.
Stephen, you're right. You're getting social credit score points for watching Luscious and
That's
Meow.
it.
That's what
From the
this
Bank of
is.
Lucy and Meow, Bank of Luscious and Meow. And until next time, we'll see you guys then.
Party.
That's it.